Play. The movie will play. I think that's probably off. I don't know the perfect pitch. Can't find the chord. I'm not finding chords. The beard is coming out of the roll. Okay, Shalom Aleichem to Katie and to Hava and Aryeh and my mother, who's going to be watching later on, who's at the Shem, and Shana Batsheva that watches every week, and Carlos joins us every now and then, and I saw there's some new subscribers to my YouTube channel, which amazes me. So whoever's going to be watching on YouTube, Shalom Aleichem to you as well. Of course, my t-shirt from high school, David, if he's still watching, and everybody else. Okay. So we're continuing with Likutey Moharan Lesson, Torah Hey. And I'm going to start, wow, the table's really moving. I'm going to start with the abridged Likutey Moharan. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Sorry about this. Here we go. Here we go. So, you probably remember where we were. We started off, Tzarich kol adam lamar, kol ha'olam lo nivra ela bishvili. Everybody has to say that the whole world wasn't created except for me. Or in other words, the whole world was created for me. And as Rabbi Nachman says, so the whole world is created for you. And also according to logic, you can understand the whole world was created for you, because even somebody that believes in the Big Bang and evolution and simply everything evolved from another thing, so everything had to evolve from another thing in order for you to be here. So you can understand the whole world's created just for you. But here's Rabbi Nachman is saying it from a spiritual level. And he says if that's the case, then you have the power to change the world through your davening. And so you have to daven. And that's a lot of what this lesson is about. He talks about doing a mitzvah. And a mitzvah has to be done with so much joy that all a person wants to do is another mitzvah. And no reward in the world to come, not even looking forward to another mitzvah, just doing the mitzvah because Hashem created a way for us to connect with Him. And that's what a person gets excited about. We learned last week this concept that Hashem created the mitzvot. Yismach Hashem b'ma'asav. Hashem is happy with His creations, and we are with what He created, and we are His creations. And when we do a mitzvah, Hashem derives pleasure. And what's the pleasure that we get from doing a mitzvah? It's Hashem's pleasure in us doing the mitzvah, and it's this infinity sign of Hashem created mitzvot, we do mitzvot, we give Hashem pleasure, He gives us pleasure. We're talking, of course, spiritual pleasure, not physical pleasures. And we talked about before judgment and after judgment. And before a judgment, he says that you can daven directly for a specific thing, and you'll feel a certain level of joy. And after the judgment, you'll have to do it in a roundabout way, like the stories that I've been telling, where instead of davening directly for children, there was the Tolner Rebbe who said, I can only daven in a house with his children. I can only eat a Shabbos meal where there's a house with his children, and Hashem sent his family children, and sure enough, the next year they were children. Haitem Esther. And to whoever else is joining us. So we have, how do we know if there's been a judgment in heaven or not? Depending on the joy. If you feel joyous when you're davening for this person or for this thing, you know that there hasn't been a decree. But if there has been a decree, then you can ask for it in a roundabout way. And then we have here the essence of joy is in the heart. And this is the section that we're going to learn now. So I'm going to read now so we'll have an idea of what we're going to learn today. Ikara simcha ubalev, the main aspect of joy is in the heart. Ve'iyafshar lalev lismoach ad sheyasir akmumiut shebelibo. A person can't be joyous until they straighten the crookedness in their heart. It's a simple understanding. If a person is addicted to alcohol, to pornography, to the news, these are all things that are a kmumiyut shebalev, are things that make the heart crooked. If you're holding a grudge, if you're jealous, all of these are mitzvot lo ta'aseh, that you're not allowed to hold a grudge, and you're not supposed to be jealous of your neighbor. These are things that cause a person's heart to be crooked. It's only when a person's heart is straight that a person can be truly joyous in the service of Hashem. Shielo yashrut lev, the person should have a straightness of the heart, but az yizke l'simcha, and then a person can merit true joy. And I would say the people that have this akmumiyut shebalev, this crookedness in the heart, they want to feel joy. They can't feel joy because they can't seem to get their heart straight, and so they numb it with drugs and alcohol, or the other things that I mentioned, from all different levels. It could be a person that buys obsessively. It could be a person that has to have their name on everything. All of these things are trying to fill the hole that's created with this crookedness of the heart. I remember one of the quotes from Michael Avraham, I think from AA meetings. He said, everyone has a God-shaped hole, and the only way to fill it is with God. That's a nice quote. Right? You try to stick other things in this God-shaped hole, whatever the God-shaped hole looks like, it won't fill the hole. Only God is going to fill the hole. And the same thing here. That's, you try to fill your pain, your loneliness, your confusion in life with alcohol, drugs, pornography, sports obsession. Not to say that sports is a problem, but obsession is a problem. You start tattooing the logo on your body, and you only wear the sports team's colors, and you answer the phone, go whatever team. That might get a little too far. All this is a kmumiyut shebalev. That's what I'm trying to describe. And the more you can be the straight arrow. So I, of course, was an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout is trustworthy, loyal, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I learned this stuff, I'm 52 years old now. I learned this when I was 13. And you see, it comes off the tip of my tongue. So I always go back to my Boy Scout days, because the Boy Scouts was positive brainwashing. And every day we had to do a good deed a day, and I would make sure I did a good deed a day, at least one. And I wanted to be a straight arrow, and I wanted to follow the rules, and I wanted to be disciplined, and all of these things. And it turned out that was a great gift that allowed me to come closer to Hashem, because in a sense it was removing the crookedness in the heart. But Rabbi Nachman says the crookedness in the heart, how do you fix it? You have to fix it through davening. So he says here, "Ve'akmumiyut shebalev mafshitin על ידי רעמים שהם בחינת תפילה בכוח, ביראה ואהבה בכוונה גדולה. Okay, I want to stop, but it all goes together. How do you fix this crookedness in the heart? Through thunder, through like these loud breaking sounds, that these are a type of davening with bekoach. So sometimes we have limud bekoach, which is learning, forcing yourself to learn, but here he's saying davening in a powerful way, with awe and with love and with the proper kavanah. So that's what we're going to learn about tonight, Bezat Hashem. That's the intro, so you'll know as I'm reading and Rabbi Nachman gets deep into the woods, you have an idea what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Ari, don't worry. Okay, לאחר שביאר שיש לשמוח בעשיית המצווה, מצווה עד שלא יראה שום שכר אחר. After Rabbi Nachman previously clarified that we want to do a mitzvah only for the sake of the mitzvah and not for any other reason, for any reward besides that, then a person can know, based on the joy that they feel when they daven. Shalom Aleichem Techaya. He was in Glasgow, in Scotland. Techaya. So a person can know, based on the joy that they feel, whether it's before the judgment or after the judgment, and then when you know, you'll know how to daven. Now he's going to explain, since the main place of joy is in the heart, you have to straighten your heart first. The heart is straightened through thunder. This is davening in a thunderous way. The main place where you feel simcha, joy, is in the heart. That's in Tehillim, that I put joy into your heart. The heart cannot be joyous until you straighten your heart. The bad attributes and the bad desires. That twists a person's heart from being on the straight path. Now I'm guessing, because when I feel something, it doesn't mean that that's what somebody else feels or understands. But for me, this is a constant battle to be on the straight path as much as I can. It's also brought me into places where people take advantage of me because of it, because I'm always trying to be on the straight path. And so you also have to not be naive. But you want to try to be tamim im Hashem Elokecha, pure and innocent and honest with Hashem. Hopefully with people as well, but for sure with Hashem. And to work on you having, I guess you can imagine, straightening your heart. Imagine your heart is crooked, straightening your heart, maybe that's a meditation. Sheyehelo yashrut lev, that a person should have a straight heart. Ve'az yizkeh l'simcha, then a person will merit to joy, to be happy. Kamo shekatuv liyishrei lev simcha, as it's written also in Tehillim, that those that have a straight heart get joy, get simcha. Mi shebelibo yashar zocheh l'simcha. Somebody who has a straight heart merits to have joy. Va'kmumiyut shebalev mafshitim miyashrim al yedei haramim. How do we straighten out the Shalom to David? How do we straighten out the crookedness in the heart? We do it through ramim, thunder. Of course, you know that Barak, which is my name, which is that's the lightning coming down. And then afterwards is the Ra'amim. These are onomatopoeic words, like bakbuk. When you pour the bottle, it goes bakbuk, 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 bakbuk. That's where the word bakbuk comes from. And so barak is the crack. And then afterwards you have Ra'am. Yep. That's what you get when you learn Hebrew in university. You get an academic education. You learn about onomatopoeic words. So this is one of those words. How is the heart straightened? Straightened through thunder. As As a sage of lesson memory said in Masechet Brachot, Lo nivru ra'amim ela lefashet akmumiyut shebelev. There it is, straight in the Gemara. Why is there thunder in the world? In order to straighten a person's heart. Ki al yedei kol ram, because through the loud sound of the thunder, shemafchid et lev ha'adam, that scares a person's heart, ha'adam mitorer lepachad me'Hashem. A person is inspired to be frightened of God. And then a person's heart that's crooked becomes straight. So you can understand, nowadays, if a truck flies past you, it's the equivalent of the old days when thunder and lightning would come. I remember, this is becoming a Boy Scout lesson, when I was in the Boy Scouts, I was in summer camp in Jupiter, Florida, which is the middle of nowhere in central Florida. It was so hot and miserable and so many mosquitoes there. And I had to go back to my tent, and it started raining. Everyone else was in the dining hall. It was raining. It started pouring rain. I remember there was so much water that the little mud paths, there was probably this much water I'm walking through. And then came lightning, and it hit a tree right next to me. The tree caught on fire, and the rain put it out. And it was such a loud sound, it scared me. I would say it scared the bejesus. What's the word?
Jesus? Yeah.
Bejesus? I don't think, whatever it is. It scared something out of me. And that's what Rabbi Nachman is talking about. It's like, if you're walking in the woods and lightning strikes a tree, it'll scare the hell out of you. And you'll say, wow, thank God that I'm alive. That's what he's trying to say here. The kemoshe begashmiyut, and just like it is in the physical world, ra'amim yashrim et alev, thunder straightens a person's heart, gam kein beruchniut, also in a spiritual way. Yeshnam bechinat ra'amim hamiyashrim et alev. There's a type of thunder that straightens the heart. Ki ra'amim ubchinat kol she'adam motzim bekoach betfilato. What is thunder? It's the sound that a person brings out when they're davening. Kamosha katuv Likutey tefillot. So everybody probably knows that every Torah in the Likutey Moharan has a prayer written by Reb Nassim. Reb Nassim was awesome. What this guy achieved in his lifetime. Really something. So he wrote a prayer for every Torah that summarizes the Torah and asks Hashem to give us what we learned in the Torah. Really, ideally, I don't have the patience for it, but ideally, I would read the tefillah after we learned each Torah. But after we finish the Torah, I'm like, let's go to the next one. So I don't want to do that. But here we're going to hear a little bit of the tefillah from this Torah. And this is what he says. That I should merit, with your great compassion, Hashem, to daven before you with all of my energy, and all the different types of energy that I have within me, beramach avrai v'shisa gidai, with all of my limbs and my sinews, bebasar v'gidim v'atzamot v'orkim bechelev ubadam, with all of the flesh and the sinews and the bones and the veins or the arteries that are in the fat and blood. V'chol hakoach sheyesh b'moach, it's a rhyme there, and all of the energy that I have in my mind, sheberosh, that's in my head, u'b'moach shemitpashet b'chol haguf, and all of the thoughts, I guess, that come down from my head into the whole body. V'kol hakoach sheyesh b'chamisha chushim, and all of the energy that's in the five senses. V'chol shar minei kochot kulam, and all of the other energies or abilities that I have, all of them, yichlelu b'toch ha'tfilah, should be gathered together and included in the davening, she'ezker lehotzi hakol, that I should merit to bring out the sound, v'adibor, and the words she'betfilah, that are in the davening, b'koach gadol, with a great power, v'ezker she'yeh koli nishma kmo ram gvurotecha ad kan leshono. And I should merit that I daven in such a way that my voice will sound like a thunderous, powerful thunder. But that's just, now you see how powerful his davening, his prayers are, because he's taking the Torah and turning it into a prayer and bring it to a whole new level. Really, it's something very special in Breslov Chassidus. I don't know much about Chassidus. I don't know so much about Chabad Chassidus, because even though I consider myself a Chabad, a Chassid of the Lubavitcher Rebbe's, I spend all my time noting Breslov Chassidus. So I'm just, it's quite amazing. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, davening in a thunderous way. Shemishtamesh bekochotav li'tpalel bekol ram, that a person uses all of their power to daven in a loud way, bechol kochotav, with all of his power. V'katav belikutey, bekitzur Likutey Moharan, so it's written in the abridged version of Likutey Moharan. This is what it says, tzarich litpalel in kol hakochot, you have to daven with all of your energy, all of your power. And to bring out a loud and strong sound from your voice when you're davening. And in the clarified advice, which is another Breslov book, Peresh Yoter V'Zeh Lashono, it goes and explains it deeper. The person has to daven with all of their energy. היינו שצריך להתאמץ ולהתחזק בכל הכוחות בריכוז המוח והלב. Person has to make a supreme effort and put a lot of energy into their davening and to focus their mind and focus their heart. לכוון היטב בתיבות התפילה, to pay attention to the words of the davening that you're saying, ולא להכניס למוח שום מחשבה זרה בשעת התפילה. And don't allow any foreign thoughts to come into your mind. Of course, I don't remember which Rebbe it was, but a chassid comes to one of the Rebbes and says, Rebbe, I have machshavot zarot, I have foreign thoughts. He says, well, if they're your thoughts, they're not foreign thoughts, they're your thoughts. They're not zarot, they're not from outside of you, they're inside of you, so you have to work on your machshavot. I know when I'm davening, sometimes, every day, I have the schut, really the merit, of leading the davening somewhere, and I lead the davening out loud, and there are times when my mind just starts to go, and I start daydreaming, and I find myself saying the wrong words, and I get confused, and it happens almost every day. I got to bring myself back and focus on the words. Tell myself, read the words. Bo'el teva, it says, Hashem said to Noach, come into the ark, and the Baal Shem Tov teaches that Bo'el ha-teva, it means come into the ark, but it also means come into the words. And he means read the words, focus on the words. That's what Rabbi Nachman is saying here. You've got to put all of your energy into it. So before you're going to do a workout, or you're going to go for a job interview, or there's something, you're going to record a podcast episode, you want to put all of your energy into it. He says the same thing with davening. I know I come to shul sometimes in the morning, I turn around, I say to the minyan, are you ready for takeoff? We're going to take off today. We're going to fly in the davening. And I try to maintain that level of davening the whole time. And by the time I'm finished, I'm a little exhausted. But it's an awesome experience. Just to go through the davening, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how anybody could live like that. What he's saying is you kind of be shaking the heavens with your davening. L'itpalel be'eit kriyat shma u'tfilat shmona esrei. When you're davening Shema and Shemona Esrei, of course, which are the main parts of the davening. And then it says, there's continuation Likutey Moharan, and it brings Hevi Zichrono Levacha, and I'm guessing, what is this? Bechevruta Likutey Moharan, Hevi V'Zeh Lashono. Maybe Rabbi Nachman added this, I'm not sure, Reb Nassim. B'shiur Reb Levi Yitzchak miBerditchev Zatzal, regarding a lesson from Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, Tzaddik of blessed memory. Shalu oto im tefila b'koach hakavana b'tza'akot. They asked Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, who, by the way, he was known to start davening in one corner of the shul and then in another corner of the shul, and to roll around on the floor and do crazy things. So it's a good person to ask the question to. Is the intention when you say davening b'koach, you're putting all of your energy into it, does that mean that you're supposed to shout? V'amar lo. And he said no. Rabbeinu amar b'koach when Rabbi Nachman said, "B'koach hakavana lekavanat halev," the intention is the intention of your heart. V'shalu oto harei Rabbi Avraham ben Nachman amar she'evarech tzarich litzok. And they brought, I don't know who Rabbi Avraham ben Nachman is, but he said, when I daven, I have to shout. V'ana nachon. Litzok zed davar gadol ma'od. It's true that shouting and davening is a very good and important thing. Avan tzarich b'midah, but you have to know how to do it. V'ladat ech litnaheg b'tzibur, and you have to know how to daven and behave with the community. Right? You walk into certain shuls, and this happens in my note all the time. People come in, they just start shouting, "Ah!" And they think, this is a high prayer. Well, this would be a high prayer if you're in the middle of the forest and there aren't people davening. But when there's people davening, you can't do that. V'siper Meirav Getze, I don't know who that is. He told about this Rabbi Getze, Shaya Tza'akan Gadol, he was a big shouter. Avan beRosh Hashanah Shebau Anshe Shlomenu, but when on Rosh Hashanah the Chasidim came, Anshe Shlomenu means, the people of our peace, and that's called Anash. That's what the Chasidim call one another, Anash. When they say Anash, it means one of the Chevri, one of the guys, one of the people, part of this group. So he said on Rosh Hashanah, when all of the Chasidim came together, Lo Shamu Oto Klam, they didn't hear him at all. So this guy was a Tza'akan Gadol. He shouted all the time, but on Rosh Hashanah they didn't hear a word come out of him. It was only after the Chasidim left that he started shouting again. And he said, when the Chasidim are here, I have to hold within myself the heat. Meaning that there are times to shout and there are times to not shout. There are people with mental disorders, and a lot of them end up in the shuls of davening, and there are people that are not. So if you don't have a mental disorder and you want to shout, then shouting is good, but none of it's going to bother other people. Also, the clapping, Breslov talks about clapping. You probably heard it. You're in shul, everyone's quiet down in Shmonayos, and somebody else going, and you just want to kill the guy. Like, you just made my heart jump out of my chest. So Rabbi Nachman said, we probably learned the lesson, he said that clapping your hands, and he says it's like this, with the fingers together like this, distracts the sitza acha, the negative energy in the world. And that a person should go like this when they're davening. This thing, I don't know where that came from. Somebody maybe invented it, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the notes, these very thick books that we're learning from, maybe somewhere it says you should make a clap. But I can guarantee you, if it's serving everyone, I don't think that was the intention, and that's what he was saying here. So we have to daven with like this shouting, and this power, and this energy, but do it in a way that it doesn't bother other people. I read somewhere, I don't know where the source is, I read it in a Breslov book, I don't know where they quote it from, that Rabbi Nachman says that you have to shout so loud that no one can hear you. And I love that. You can just, in your mind, you can shout loud, you can go crazy, you can picture the floor and the walls and the ceiling are shaking from your shouting, and nobody hears you. Okay, so you have to put this power into the davening. Umizeh na'aseh ra'amim, and this is where the thunder comes from. V'raya ledaber shegam tefillah b'koach nikra ra'amim. And what's the proof of this? That also saying the words of the davening in a strong way is called ra'amim because it's brought in the Zohar. So now he's going to give a whole bunch of proofs for what he's trying to say, or what he's saying. Now I'll just summarize it. It says, how does it rain? Where does the thunder come from? When the voices of the angels clash together, they bring down the rain, they create the lightning, they create the thunder. And he's bringing the Zohar, and he's giving a lot of quotes here. Ram gvuatav mitbonen. Okay, so then he says, what is the prayer that we say when there's thunder? That Hashem's power and stringency fills the whole world. That's the bracha you're supposed to say when you hear thunder. He's saying, what is this thunder? The thunder in a physical way is a powerful thing, and your davening also has to reach this place of being a powerful thing. So I'm going to skip over a lot of the text proofs here. He's going on with more of it. Let's just see. Maybe there's a conclusion at the end of the sentence, at the paragraph here. נשמע קול גם זה לשאר בני האדם, מעורר ליבם לעבודת השם. Okay. דהיינו, במוח המתפלל, when a person is davening, so let's go back a little bit more. What is this? Live no need המוח, כי מהמוח יודעים טיפות הם קנה היראה, כדי לקרר את החום. Wow, he's really getting into this stuff here. He's talking about the clouds. דהיינו שבמוח מתפלל אזי אש תמה קלה לבריאה, נשמע הכל גם לשאר בני האדם ומעורר את ליבם לעבודת השם. So I guess when somebody hears you davening in a loud way, it inspires somebody else to daven as well. But you have to really do things in a way that people can receive them. Because, for example, if you walk down the street and say, Good Shabbos, you're driving, Good Shabbos, somebody's not going to take it the right way. But if you do it in a gentle way, I've talked about this many times, you say, Good Shabbos, and you have a smile on your face, always people respond to me in a positive way. So we were in Tel Aviv 2 Shabbos ago, and it was like a 15-minute walk to the shul, and I had a lot of opportunities to say Shabbat Shalom to people, and everyone was smiling. There was one really sweet scene. Just when we walked out of Adel and Ellie's apartment, it was me and my 2 sons-in-law. There's this guy walking with his dog. I don't know if I mentioned this. Walking with his dog. He's got his headphones on. He looks at us. It's like, wow, is it Shabbat already? And I said, yeah. He's like, wow, איזה כיף לראות אתכם פה. How happy to see you religious guys here in this neighborhood. And you could see the guy had real joy. And then he said, we don't keep Shabbos. That's just for you guys. I said to him, Shabbat Shalom. He said, Shabbat Shalom. Ize kef. Shabbat Shalom. And as I'm walking to the shul, people are looking, and I say, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We walked by one restaurant Shabbos morning. We went to the mikveh near them. That was crazy. It was built in 1950, and they never touched it since. There were no tiles on the wall anymore. They'd all fallen off. The mikveh, whatever. It was a mikveh. It worked. There was one restaurant that was packed outside, out to the street. Parents with strollers and little kids. Shabbos morning. I had the thought, if I lived there, I think every Shabbos I would come and say to everyone, I'm making Kiddush. Anyone that wants grape juice, I'm making Kiddush. Just stand in the middle of that crowd and make Kiddush and hand out the Kiddush. It would become like a new minhag in that restaurant. So a lot of work to be done in Tel Aviv. Okay. So he's repeating the same thing, that this is a loud sound. And what is the goal of this davening? The davening is to wake us up. Okay. And to straighten our heart. So I'm going to skip text proofs here. He's bringing more and more and more, and I'm going to go to the conclusion of this paragraph, this section, and then we're going to tell a story, and we're finishing for tonight. Nimsa shekadei leyasher et halev. In order, so it follows that in order to straighten the person's heart, this is like a summary of the section. Tzarich tchila litpalel b'koach. First, you have to daven with a lot of energy. You understand when it says b'koach? So koach is potential, energy, and you're davening with that. Ve'akol ve'adibur b'koach osim shtei pirulot. And when you daven with energy and with this loud voice, it does 2 things. Akol oseram, the voice actually makes a sound, a loud sound. Hanishma lebriot umeyasher et libam. That other people are going to hear it, and it's going to straighten their hearts as well. Now, how does that connect to where we started off with? So that every person has to know the world was created for them. And if the world was created for you, then you have the power to change the world. And now you have the power to change the world through your davening. And now he says, and when you daven with a loud voice and with a lot of positive energy, you'll inspire other people to daven that way as well. So we're making a connection back to the beginning. By the way, somebody who davens and is depressed, people will feel it in a second, and they'll want to run out of shul. The person who leads the davening, most of the time, they're just kind of neutral. But every now and then you get somebody who gets up and they're just depressed. People don't want to hear it. And when somebody comes to lead the davening, they really have to be happy. They have to be joyous because whatever is coming out of their mouth is coming through their heart, and other people are going to feel it as well. It's part of the job of being a shliach tzibur. And of course, we learned the lesson of Zamra 282, Eshebet, where Rabbi Nachman talks about the shliach tzibur, the person who's leading the davening, and says that person has to find the nikudot tovot, the good points in everyone in the shul, and bring them all together. And that's one of his jobs. Perush, the meaning is divrei tefillah shel kol. We're talking about the physical words that come out of your mouth. Osim ram hamo'il le'asher et lev hamitpalel. They make a sound, ram, we're saying thunder in quotes, that straightens the heart of the davener. Bet, akol atzmo me'oreret et kavanat halev. Just the fact that you're saying the words in a loud voice, it inspires your heart, the intention of the heart. Sheken akol me'orer et hakavana. This is a quote where he says that the voice inspires intention. V'al yedei zeh, and through this, hamitpalel yechol yitpalel b'yeter koach v'kavana. By saying the words in a joyous way, in a strong way, saying them out loud, it enables the person who's davening to daven with more energy and more kavana. Ubezeh la'asot kolot nosafim, and to make other sounds shiyasu v'amim b'mocho, that will make a thunder in the person's mind. Ubekach tigadel yashrut alev, and then it will increase the straightness of the heart. So how do you increase the straightness of the heart? By putting this energy into your davening. Real energy, saying the words out loud. I know when I lead the davening and there's time, I like to say every word with a space between it out loud. And by the time I finish, it's like, wow, just went up to a skyscraper and jumped and just went higher. Just go higher and higher and higher. It's really amazing. V'chein chozer. Now, I'm not sure what this is here. It says chalila. I don't think that's what the intention is. Chalila. God forbid. So he says, this is talking about Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berdichev. And so, it returns b'meshech kol tefillah. So I guess you have to be careful not to disturb people with your davening. It should be a davening that inspires people. Akol oseram, the sound, the voice makes a sound like a thunder. V'aram meyasher et halev, and the thunder straightens the heart. V'alev mitpalel, v'lev mitpalel, v'kavanah b'koach, and the heart of the person is doing the davening with intention, with energy. Naaseh od kol, makes more voices, makes more sounds. I guess it makes an echo. V'az zocheh liyashrut lev shlema v'gmora, that a person merits to have a straightened and complete heart, perfect heart. V'alev yechol lavo lidei simcha gdola, and then the heart is open to achieving this great joy, b'kiyum mitzvot, v'kanan, and when doing the commandments, as mentioned above. Okay, that's where we're stopping tonight. I'll give you a short story of the Heilige Baal Shem Tov. You have any questions, Ari? You used to have a lot of questions. Because now we have the Otei Or, so things are clearer. So one time the Rebbe, the Baal Shem Tov, was walking with his Hasidim in a park. And the Hasidim and the Rebbe are going this way, somebody's walking this way, and the Rebbe stops this guy, and he whispers into his ear. And the guy gives him a look like, what are you talking about? And the Baal Shem Tov nods and says, And then the Baal Shem Tov walks away. And this guy keeps walking, the Baal Shem Tov is going that way. So the Hasidim know, okay, the Baal Shem Tov doesn't just stop people on the street and talk with them. This guy is obviously hidden tzaddik. The Hasidim, they're not Hasidim for nothing. They want to meet hidden tzaddikim. So they go over to the guy and they say, we know you're a hidden tzaddik. Don't try to play games. We're Hasidim the Baal Shem Tov. We know these things. What did the Rebbe say to you? He said, I'm not a tzaddik. My father's not a tzaddik. I heard a joke in shul. What's the best part of, how is yichus like a carrot? Yichus is having a famous relative, like Jewish relative, like the Baal Shem Tov. If somebody was a descendant of the Baal Shem Tov, they say, I'm a descendant of the Baal Shem Tov, and we're all supposed to say, ooh, and that's yichus. As if it means anything. So the joke here is going to explain it. What's the connection between yichus and a carrot? The best part is underground. So, these guys, they say, he says, I don't have any yichus, I don't have any famous people in my family, just a simple guy. He says, but our Rebbe doesn't just stop people and talk with him, so what did he say to you? He said, well, many years ago I had a friend, he did a business deal, he came home with a bunch of money, he left it sitting on the table. And all of the friends are coming in and we're welcoming him back. And I'm looking at this money on the table and I'm thinking, how irresponsible of you. So I decided to put the money in my pocket and take it, teach my friend a lesson. I came back a few hours later, I was going to give the money back to him. He was frantic. He said, the money's stolen. He lost everything. What's he going to do? He's ruined. And I felt like I couldn't give him back the money at that point because he would blame me for stealing the money. I said, I'll give it back at a future time. So I went and buried the money in my backyard. He said, 10 years have passed. And every day I say to Hashem, when am I going to give back the money? And the Baal Shem Tov stopped me and he said, give back the money. And I told the Rebbe, but he won't forgive me. The Baal Shem Tov said, if you need a witness, you can send him to me. I'll tell him that you didn't steal the money. Give him back the money. He said, I'm going home right now to give back the money. That's the Baal Shem Tov stopping somebody on the walk in the park. Okay, Shikoch everyone. Continue B'ezrat Hashem next week. B'simcha. Alay, 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 alay.